Hi, my name is Savanna Paladino. I'm one of the top colorists here at IGK salons in both New York City and Miami. Currently, I'm based out of Miami, and I'm really excited for this Redken opportunity. So I got into hair when I was 25. My whole life I loved it. I would take my Barbies and paint their hair with markers and do makeup on them and give them makeovers. And then when I was 18, after high school, I went to cosmetology school. And I didn't really have the support of my family to make it a career, so I felt a lot of pressure from like my friends going off to college, my family, so I dropped out within a month. And then I went to college and then had a couple other careers in the meantime. And then I was 25, almost 26, I decided I'm gonna go back to cosmetology school. I love it. I gave myself, I was like, if I'm not gonna do this now, I'll never be successful with it. I'll never wanna go back to school. So I graduated cosmetology, I think I was 26. I just turned 30. And I felt like I could only get successful by moving into Miami, New York City, or LA. So I picked up my life from New York and moved to Miami. I got into production jobs where I was always good at doing makeup, so I started doing styling and makeup for these photo shoots. And then it kind of snowballed from there. I would meet some of these models at the shoots, offer them complimentary hair color, yada yada. And then finally I had a blonde, a redhead, and a brunette, and I took their pictures and I like blasted emails all over Miami. All modeling agencies offering free hair color to agents, discounts for models, and then by that, I started becoming the colorist for a lot of the agencies. Right now I work with Elite Miami, Wilhelmina Next, CGM, MP, and then with having these women who are like, they're beautiful, they're smart, I would do their hair color, and a lot of them are business women as well, and then my word of mouth, I kind of grew from there, my clientele. So now I'm working at IGK salons. It will be 3 years in I think September or August or something like that. But I'm now one of the top producing colorists in all the salons. And I also run the education program here for all the assistants. So basically me and a couple other stylists, we come together and we have created a syllabus where they start with wherever level they are and they go through the whole protocol on how to become a colorist here and a stylist at IGK. So I work with them hand in hand and we make classes, we take them how to like hold the tools, their dexterity, how they would formulate, and we just do the whole thing. We build those stylists, we help them from the ground up. I love Redken. I feel like it's one of the only lines that have so many multi-uses and such a variety of products. Redken Shades EQs as a colorist, I feel like they have so many multi-purposes. They can add volume to the hair, shine, they add dimension, they can add bold and subtle changes. I like that it has the ability to change the hair without adding a severe commitment. I just think it's a perfect aid for all hair color, no matter what you're doing. The shampoo and conditioners are phenomenal, and the hairsprays are incredible. From 12 all the way up to 32, they have so many different uses for whatever style I'm trying to create. And I also love Redken, primarily is because of the history. As I've been working with it more, I found out a lot more about Paula and how she created it. And I just think that it was incredibly progressive for her and her time frame to be a woman entrepreneur. And she completely revolutionized the whole hair scene with Vidal and everything. So more I love the products, I love what they stand for and what they have created for the industry now. Part of Redken because I feel like there's so many people in the hair scene that have started with Redken, and I just love the artistic ability that they have launched with, from education, from products to different platform artistries. I want to be an educator because I love helping other stylists out. I think it says something when anyone can teach from the top up. I think it's kind of an art to put yourself wherever you are, whatever level, and you can teach from the bottom up as well as learn a lot from other stylists who are either 10 years ahead of you or just started. I feel like no matter what you're doing, whether it's styling, color, cut, I feel like there's 1,000 ways to peel an orange. You can achieve any look in numerous techniques and styles. So I think having education as your foundation gives you a platform to just build a house. So you can learn what style works best for you, what kind of tools you like, if it's more of a logical, factual, by the book technique, or if you're completely an artist and just kind of dabble with everything. I just love that education has given you a way to find whatever works for you and customize that and your abilities. I really want to be a part of the Redken team. I feel like Redken was a pivotal point changing the hair industry, and now I think this is the most people have ever paid and invested in their hair, and it was original brands like Redken that brought it to this. Before it was just a place that artists could just, a realm they can just release their creativity, and now it's not just a backup plan for people that weren't going to college, it's a whole career that people can invest and be respected on, and I think that Redken was a huge part of that, and I just would love to be a part of the team. So today we're going to do a face frame highlight with a little bit of balayage. Vicky was here last about 6.5 months ago, and as you see, she has a really subtle grow out, so we just want to continue that for a nice soft look. So I'm going to do a little bit of foils in the front just to bring up her face frame and make it a little bit bold. And then for the rest of her hair on the top portion and in the back, we're going to do a balayage, so it has a nice little melt, nice and subtle, really natural sun-kissed. So as you can see with Vicky's hair, she doesn't really have a harsh grow out line. To avoid a line of demarcation or anything like that, we're going to do the face frame foils in the front so it has a tiered effect. So her blonde is brightest up front, and then the balayage on the sides and on the back to create a really beautiful color melt. This way she can go another 6.5, 7 months without having to come in between for a touch-up or anything like that. This way it's the most cost-effective, gentle on the hair, and it just looks great the whole time it's growing out. So the reason why balayage and highlight combination is one of my favorite is, yes, it creates a natural look to the hair, it creates dimension, but it also helps with longevity. Most of my clients like to come see me about once to twice a year max. So with most of them being brunette, see Vicky here is around a level 5, 6, we like to keep her nice and blonde. So with that comes a lot of high maintenance hair. This technique helps blend out the hair because the highlights go all the way up to the root, which creates a really bold money piece, and then the balayage is a little bit further down, so it creates a nice tiered effect as it's growing out rather than a harsh line of demarcation. So to start this technique, I like to do 3 clean partings. I start at the crown of the head, and I draw a line right behind the ear. And then I section it forward without twisting, just so it's a little easier for me to maneuver. And I do the same thing with the other side. So you can see the clean partings, and then the one dropping from the back, you can clip it out of the way if you'd like. Sometimes I find it's just easier to clip it, but that's not necessary. So 3 clean, easy sections to make your job so much easier. So I'm going to start the face frame. I'm using Redken Flash Lift with a bonder inside, and I use Redken Developer. I mix a 20 volume with a little bit of 10 volume to create a lesser 20 and more closer to a 15. I'm going to start with taking diagonal partings, and I'm going to do back-to-back weaving technique. I like to slice diagonally with the clip, so it's a little bit easier for me. You can feel free to use your comb. And the initial one I always reslice a few times, just because I want the perfect first weave to guide the entire section. As you can tell, Vicky has a lot of baby hairs, so the weave technique works best because you won't see the difference in length. So I like to apply and then feather at the root a little bit just to buffer out some of the lightener. And then I drag lightly just to lighten up what's discolored, leaving out the ends so they don't get over processed. And then I continue on by doing back-to-back weaves. Usually I'll do about 4 to 5 for a face frame. I like having a really blonde front for most of my blondes.
Don't wanna let go. No, I don't wanna let go. Now I got you in my space. I won't let go of you.
client's head to where you need it. Doing back-to-back weaving. Make sure you pull that foil nice and tight. Okay. So now we're almost done with the hairline. We have 4 foils on each side, back-to-back weave without skipping hair in between. And now we're gonna do the front of it, and then we'll continue with the balayage to finish this look. So since Vicky has a little bit, I call it a schmiddle part, it's a side middle, I'm gonna do it into 2 foils. Okay, I'm gonna do that large weaving technique, just so it has a little bit of a buffer, so it's not a harsh, long line. Start a little bit below the root, and then I just feather at the root of the product. Then drag down right until the blonde starts. And as you saw that, I use the front of my comb to kick out the tips of the hair and fold up. Now we've completed the face frame. So as you see on this side, I did 3 foils, and this one I only did 2. It's gonna be the whole front of the hair. I did it because she has a heavier part on this side. So even though it's an uneven amount of foils, it will create an even look with the final front piece. So now we're gonna move on to the balayage portion. I'm gonna take a nice diagonal. I'm gonna skip the first top layer of the hair, just so I can create some depth underneath. I'm going to clip that out of the way. I'm going to take about almost like a ½ inch section of the hair. And then I'm going to just do a gentle tease from the middle of the hair shaft up. I like to grab it in 2 parts just so it's easier. So you have a thin veil of hair. I then take a little bit of the tease apart. Then I need a paddle. I take the paddle, put it underneath. I apply the product about the middle of the hair, working my way up. I tend to go up further towards the front of the face to create a diagonal so it looks like a melting placement. I then take my hands and I work it down the product, blending out any of the darkness. I then apply more product to my hand and I saturate from the middle of the hair up, working my way up with the product and using my pointer and my middle finger and creating that shape. I'm running the product down towards the end of the hair just to add a few little intentional pops.
To you.
If you need to re-tease a little bit, just getting those baby hairs out of the way, you can. The saturation of the hair is important. You want to oversaturate where you want it to be lighter. So I tend to oversaturate from the middle of the hair up because it's the darkest portion of the hair. And on the ends, I just gently ran through the lightener so it would only pop the ends up a little bit. The reasoning is because the less saturated it's going to dry out quicker, the lightener. So it's going to process for a shorter amount of time. This is causing the front of the hair, the top portion where it's darker, to get lighter, and the ends gently to kiss up a little bit. I'm going to continue doing the same exact thing I did with the bottom layer on the top layer. If you grab too much hair, as you see what I'm doing, I just kind of section out from the bottom of the hair, creating a thinner slice of the section.
You lift my heart up when the rest of me is down. You enchant me.
Again, starting from the middle of the hair and working your way up. I find that if you over direct the hair a little bit forward, it's easier to create that perfect diagonal placement.
Watching all day, now I know what I have found. I feel we're close enough.
So by creating a diagonal like this, you're obviously over directing the hair, which makes the lightener go up closer to the front of the hair, which creates a higher placement of the highlight there and creating more depth in the root down here to give it that lift in, grow out look. So that will help the hair longevity last. Last, we're gonna do the back of the head. I'm gonna take it in 2 sections. I'm gonna just do the top layer of the hair and break it up in 2 since she has a lot of hair. If they have thinner, you can grab it all in 1 slice. So I'm gonna take it again. I'm following the line of the head. I'm gonna tease. The reason for teasing is it ensures there's no line of demarcation. So see, as we're teasing up all that hair, when we pull it down, it's gonna act as a veil to cover up any of lines where we created the highlight. I just finished with my balayage. I went up on a V in the back just to create a little bit more movement because she's so dark and the back has a little bit more growth than the front and sides do. So the V creates more movement, a little bit more blonde, while you're covering the whole area of the head.
Shut up!
So her timer just went off. She was under the heat. I set it on a medium setting for 20 minutes. Now I just checked it. I wanted the top to be the front about a level 9. I'm pulling it at the color of a inside of a banana, so that pale yellow. And then to check the balayage, the little trick that I do, it should dry out. I just scrape away a little bit of the excess lightener and see what's underneath it. So since I don't want it too blonde, I'm going for more of a level 8. So I think it's both perfect. We're gonna rinse and pull. So we just took Vicky out of the sink. I rinsed out all her highlights and balayage. Immediately after, without shampooing, I did the Redken pH bonder. I did root to end, and I let her process in the sink with that for 15 minutes. After I rinsed it out, I blew dry her front because I just wanted to root smudge a little bit the highlights so they weren't too white. I did 8GI Redken shades with 7G, and then I mixed that with equal parts of Redken Shades Acute Processing Solution, and I let that sit on for 25 minutes. After that, I brought her back to the sink, shampooed her and conditioned her with Redken Color Safe shampoo and conditioner, and now we're here. So we're gonna get her nice and dry so you can see the final result.
Last night, I couldn't even get an answer. call, but my pride wouldn't let me die, 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 last night. Couldn't even get an answer. I tried to call, but my pride wouldn't let me die, 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 die.
Since I'm at IGK right now, I'm using IGK Direct Flight. It's a 2-in-1 dry shampoo and texture spray. I love it because everyone thinks dry shampoo needs to be used on our dirty hair. I like to have clean hair because it prolongs the blow dry. I start at the root and section it and do the roots. So it keeps it from getting oily, it makes your blow dry last longer, and then this one is cool because it's also a texture spray all in one. So Vicky actually has fine, very straight hair, that's why I kind of overwaved her so it lasts a while. But this will help maintain the waves. As you can see, Vicky's hair color is done. I love this technique because she really did not want to do that much different to her hair. She wanted to kind of fix up what she had. So we brought up the blonde a little bit on the sides. As you can see, that really pretty color melt. And then that front gives it that nice pop that it will grow out super soft, as well as keeping that nice and bright so you can't tell how old the color is. Also, I explained that we did the root gloss, but I decided not to do an all over gloss because I loved how her natural hair pulled so much in the color she had that we just used regular conditioner. And then she can keep this color by using Redken shampoo and conditioner color safe. I think that's the best one. All color safe shampoo and conditioners help prolong hair. And that's it. I love this technique and I hope you enjoyed it too. This entire technique to apply should take about 15 minutes. Vicky took about 20 minutes to process, depending on the client, give or take. But I love it because it works for all hair types, all hair colors. And I hope you enjoyed watching. It was a little weird talking to a camera and not people, but thank you, Redken. I love you.